we move on to do full La Liga predictions. Um, it's that eve in the fact that the games technically start today, but really tomorrow. La Liga games start. The season kicks off with Athletic Club taking on Getafe and Real Betis taking on Girona. Madrid, they open up their campaign. No, yeah, Madrid open up their campaign on Sunday against Mallorca. Barcelona open up their campaign against Valencia on the 17th, August 17th. Atletico Madrid, they open up their campaign against Villarreal August 19th. Some interesting ties coming up. And Girona kicks off their tie tomorrow against Real Betis. Keep in mind, Girona was the surprise of last year, being able to accomplish what they did last year. Phenomenal achievement for them. Now is a real big test for them, in the fact that they're going to be playing Champions League football. Girona, there was some issue. There was actually some talks over that whether or not they'll be allowed to play in the Champions League or not. They were officially granted permission to compete in the Champions League about a month ago or so now. But because of the question marks regarding City's ownership group owning both Manchester City and Girona, I'm pretty sure Manchester City owners. The owners were able to find the loophole that they were able to find in every single rule book. They've invaded over 200 different charges from multiple different organizations. They just know how to do this. So, going back though, I was saying though, Girona now they have a test in the fact that they're going to be playing Champions League football. With Champions League football, it's going to be difficult for them to be able to keep up the great sort of performances and consistency that they were able to develop last season. And Mikel, their manager, is gonna have his hands tied and in this. But going back though, speaking about La Liga last season, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Girona finished third. Atletico Madrid finished fourth. Athletic Club was fifth, and Real Sociedad was sixth, which is the two Europa League spots. And Real Betis is seventh. So it's interesting. Now, the newly promoted teams this season are Espanyol, Real Valladolid, Valladolid, and Leganés. Those are for me, the favorite to win this title. My choice, my prediction to win this is definitely going to be Real Madrid. I just spoke glowingly about that attacking four of Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo. The way that they can play, how fluid that they are, the way that they can all, especially the front three, they can all interchange. They're all comfortable playing different positions. They all have pace and dynamism. They're all very clinical in terms of in front of goal. Huge technical quality. Just a brilliant front three and a world-class front three. That team is just purely world-class players. Mbappe, Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinicius, Chouameni, Camavinga, Courtois, Rudiger, Militao. You're talking about just class. And now they have that added element that I was speaking about in the previous segment, is ridiculous depth with players with the quality of Brahim Diaz, Arde Güler. We saw what he's capable of doing if he can get some quality minutes. We saw what he's capable of doing at the European Championship. Just oozed quality, Arde Güler. Player like Brahim Diaz, Luka Modric came off the bench today. Again, with similar role that he had last season, he can be a brilliant player in that sort of role. Seeing out games. player like Endrick, who has that that element of we don't know. He's the next real big thing according to a lot of people. He has some serious quality. So this team, not only do they have ridiculous quality amongst the starting 11, but they also have the depths that they haven't quite had in years past. And that makes them even more alarming. And Carlo Ancelotti, there's no better manager out there to handle this sort of array of talent, this sort of expectations, and to make sure that there's no drop off in terms of the consistency and the mental strengths that Real Madrid have in these sort of games, in the consistency of a La Liga season, the late game stretches in the Champions League. There's no way you can't have Real Madrid winning the league. You cannot. Now, I will say, Barcelona, they will finish second. Will they compete with Real Madrid? I don't think so. In terms of winning the league, I think Real Madrid will be the clear La Liga title winners. But Barcelona, there's a unique situation here in the fact that they're going to be playing a different style of football, no matter what Hansi Flick wants to say. They're going to be playing a little bit different style of football that Barcelona has played in the past. The fact that they're gonna be managed by Hansi Flick, which is that more direct style, backline being basically at the halfway line, pressing aggressively, pressing with high intensity, pressing with some sort of desire in that you want to win the ball high and immediately attack off that pressing, off winning the ball high up the field and getting yourself into dangerous areas. That's how they would want to play. They're going to be very, very direct, very, very vertical, and very aggressive. And it's a little bit different. It's not going to be as, possession is going to be valued, obviously, but it's not going to be that sort of possession-oriented Dutch football in which your main ability to create is with your ability to control the ball and to be able to find the breakthrough. This Barcelona team with Hansi Flick, their main way to get that breakthrough is winning the ball up high up the field and being able to immediately attack off that and constantly win the ball in the opposing half of the box and being able to suffocate teams and look, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to know how Barcelona are able to take it. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Camp Nou is going to be expected to be available to them in late December of this year, but the first matches are supposed to be 60% capacity. I think if they could get that Camp Nou up to the 80, 85, 90% good atmosphere, I think it can make this even, with the way Barcelona play, that are trying to play under Hansi Flick, I think you can get that sort of Anfield-like Jurgen Klopp Liverpool presence, which the crowd would feed off of. So, I think Barcelona will be good. I don't know about the Dani Olmo signing. I think Nico Williams would have been a little bit more better. In fact, that you get that vertical sort of winger that's perfect for Hansi Flick on the left-hand side. And you're forcing to play, Frenkie de Jong in a sort of unnatural position with bringing in Dani Olmo if you're going to try to make a fit. So, but overall, I think Barcelona, they'll be very, very solid. I'd have to go with Atletico Madrid third. I think being able to sign a guy like Julian Alvarez completely changed the deal for Diego Simeone at Atletico Madrid. I think it makes them dangerous. I think getting a guy like Conor Gallagher in the club would have been very beneficial. But we know that deal is kind of teetering right now with the whole situation of Samu Omorodion not being able to get sold to Chelsea. But I think Atletico Madrid getting a player like Julian Alvarez, a world-class sort of player, I think they're going to have some sort of consistency with him. And I think that would be enough to keep them third. I think they'll be a very, very solid team. They do need that upgrade in midfield, though. And then I'd have to go probably with Athletic Club, Sociedad, Villarreal. I think they're all contenders to get that first spot. Obviously, Girona as well. The thing that makes me worry about Girona just a bit is the fact that now that they're gonna be playing Champions League football, that it's gonna be difficult to play Champions League football and to play Champions League football and compete in La Liga in top four. I think if they weren't playing Champions League football, I'd fancy them right now. But I'm slightly leaning Athletic Club, who are able to retain the likes of Nico Williams, which I think makes them more dangerous. Last year they finished on around 68 points. I think that they'll be able to progress from there. I like what they're doing at the football club. There seems to be a good camaraderie. Ernesto Valverde, I think. Since he's came in at Atletico Madrid, at Atletico Bilbao the second time around, I think they've made steady progression year by year, and I think this could be the year that they can break into the top four. So I'm gonna put them just because I don't know how Girona can adapt to playing Champions League football with competing in La Liga. And also the big thing with Girona, they lost Dovbyk to Roma. Dovbyk had 24 goals and 36 appearances in this campaign. They lost him to Roma. Now, yes, they'll be able to use that money to, improve the squad. But when you're losing a guy that scored 24 goals for you, that's a big loss. So I'm going to have to go with Athletic Club. I think there'll be a drop-off from Girona.